Welcome to Yoga with Cynthia. I'm Cynthia Bialik, and both the host and the producer for this program. And Irene Faithful is here with me faithfully to demonstrate a lot of the yoga poses that we are going to be showing you today. We're going to be mostly on the mat. If you have never participated in a yoga class, you may want to try today and see how you feel doing the asanas. We are going to be doing very slow moving asanas today, trying to get you into poses that you may not feel comfortable getting into. We're going to start with a very low level or modification of the pose and then build the poses up. And we're going to start actually in staff pose. So let's take our legs straight out. And what we're doing today is sitting on a cushion. So if you have very tight hamstrings or a tight back, you may want to do so as well. Or if you have a very hard surface and it would feel much more comfortable to your back to be on a cushion, that's another reason to have a cushion. So we're going to start in staff, and I want you to push the heels out so they're directly out from the hips. So take your feet a little wider, and we're going to place our hands on the pelvis and just move your pelvis around a little bit. If you have any tightness in your back, we're going to try to get rid of that so that we can have better luck with the poses. So I want you to hold on to the pelvis, and we're going to move the rib cage around the pelvis here to loosen up the back. So we have the erector spinae muscles that run up and down the spine, and sometimes with abuse, we're always lifting heavy, or we're always leaning forward and we're not leaning back as much. We oftentimes overstretch those back muscles so they get weak. If we don't use them for strengthening, they get weak. Let's go the other way. So we are going to be in our bellies some today, strengthening the back muscles. All right, so now bring your hands straight down from the shoulders. We're going to lift that left arm up and bend your right elbow and tilt your body to the right. Just stretching the lats out there. Now bring your left arm down. Lift the right arm in the air. Start to bend the left elbow here. And just take it over to the left side. And now bring both arms in the air. And we're going to round out the spine. And as you round out the spine, you're going to look down at your lap. Then look up in the air. Lift the chest there. Once again, round the spine. And again, look up in the air. And let's twist to the right side of the mat. Drop your hands down on the outside of your left calf and just give a gentle push so you feel more stretch in your low back. You'll also feel that the internal external obliques are engaged. Look over that right shoulder. Let's bring the arms back up in the air. Lift up tall. Turn to your left. Look over that left shoulder. Now at this time, bring both hands to the back of your mat. See if you can pull your elbows in toward your spine. Lift your chest up high. So even though the back is now an extension, it's supported because our hands are on the floor and we're not pulling away from the force of gravity. We're actually working with the force of gravity. So at this time, we're going to slide our feet in, wrap our arms around the thighs, grab for the opposite elbows, and let your head come down to the knees. So we're going to cross the ankles, come up onto our knees, slide that cushion out. Keep your block handy. Hands are underneath your armpits, and we're just going to tap the top of the feet down to warm up the lower legs. You may still cramp if some of the movements are just alien to you and you have a tendency of cramping. We're just trying to get more oxygen and blood flow into the feet and toes. Let's curl the toes under, and we're going to start to pull our body weight to our heels. Let your head drop down, stretching out the shoulders. And we're going to try to lift our knees off the mat and into a downward facing dog pose. So let your head drop. Let your heels come down towards the mat and pedal those heels up and down, trying to get those heels towards the ground. Now bring your knees down, and we're going to look up in the air, and our first little sequence here is going to be bird dog. So physical therapists often use this. It helps with stability. We're going to start with our right foot back. We're going to take our left arm out. So we're using the strength of our erector spinae, and we're using the strength of our glute muscles, lifting that right heel. Now, the strengthening of the shoulders to take that left hand up a little higher. And now internal external obliques, rectus abdominis, and transverse as we bring that left elbow to the right knee. Hold it there, and then extend it back up in the air. Breathe in, exhale, and pull. Elbow to knee. Breathe and reach out. Exhale in. Breathe and reach out. Exhale in. Continue as you are. 3 more. Pull in, lift up, and breathe. Exhaling in. And breathe. Exhale. Let's do 1 more time. So we did 8 on this side. Exhaling in. Now drop that hand down. We're going to take the right arm under the left shoulder and just stretch that shoulder. And come back to table. Bird dog on the other side. Extend that left foot out. Start to reach out with your right arm. And as you lift that left heel and lift that right arm, getting more extension in the spine, using the glutes, using the shoulders, your deltoids. Now we're going to bring that right elbow into your left knee. Come back up and breathe. Exhaling in. Come back up and breathe. Exhaling in. And again, reach up. Exhaling in. And breathe, exhaling in. Breathe, exhaling in. And 2 more times. And once more. Keep that arm up and drop it down. Now take that left arm underneath your right shoulder, thread the needle. Separate the shoulder blades, stretching the rhomboids, stretching the posterior delts. Now come back up to table. Round the spine and cat. And release the back. Now we're going to take our right foot to the very front of our mat. Now, if you are on a hard surface at home, you may want to fold up your mat. You may want to use a towel underneath your left knee because that's a lot of pressure. We actually are blessed because we are on a foam simulated wood floor, but it's foam, so we have a lot of cushioning under our knees here. You're going to bring both hands to your right thigh, and you're going to sink into your left thigh. So pull forward. And then take your left arm up in the air and to a very moderate crescent lunge. Look up. Find yourself an extension. Now the back muscles are working a little bit more. And we're going to bring that left arm over the outside of your right leg. Bring your hands in the prayer and gently twist around to that side of the room. Stretching out that back. Bring the arms out. Kneeling twist. Now we're going to bring that left arm up in the air and do a little shoulder stretch here. These arms are cow face arms. We're going to bring that right arm behind and extend it up the back. Try to reach for that right hand with your left and look up in the air. Now, as we release that right hand, you're going to reach up with your left hand and then try to reach back for that left heel and reach up with your right hand. If you feel you're able to, you can bring that right arm back. You can use your block if you choose. Come back up in the air. And now bring those hands down on the inside of your right heel and let the elbows come down. Modified lizard pose, stretching that back. And we're going to bring the knees together. Let's do another cat pose. Round the spine. Drive the navel into the spine. Slide your left foot forward this time. Place both hands on your left thigh as you lunge forward. Deep breath in. Reach up with your right arm. Look up in the air. And now bring the right arm over to your left leg. Try to extend that arm beyond the knee. Bring your hand in prayer and twist all the way around there to the left. Look up over that left shoulder. Now as we exit the pose, we're twisting to the left side of the mat. And then slowly reaching back with your right arm. Left arm comes behind your right shoulder into the cow face arms. Locking those hands behind your right shoulder this time. Look up in the air. Stretching the chest. Stretching the shoulders. Now as you release those arms, right hand goes back. You can use the block if you choose to place it behind you. And as you come down into the block, lifting that left arm in the air, or come down to your heel, wherever you feel comfortable. Reaching up with your left arm, pull back over that left shoulder. Lifting the chest as high as you can. Deepen your breaths. Now come back to center. Both hands are down. You can also use the block if you choose. Place the block under your elbows, or if you feel you're flexible enough to get the elbows down, just drop the head to the ground. All right, so let's bring both knees together, and we're going to bring those arms to the very front of your mat. And at this time, we're going to drop the chin down slowly onto the mat. And this is going to be a modified locust pose. We're first going to just drop the chin, and we're going to start to strengthen that back. We're going to start to pull the shoulder blades in towards the spine. Start to lift the hands off the mat. Look forward. And if you feel you're able to, Lift those hands up a little higher. Lift the rib cage. Then if you can, lift your feet. Engage those glutes. Engage those shoulders. And then if you can, bring those arms forward. And back down. Let's turn the head to your left. Drop the right ear to the ground. And now turn the head in the other direction. Left ear is down. Let's try one more locust pose. And again, if you choose, you can just go to the point where you feel comfortable. So if lifting the chin and engaging the back muscles here is where you want to stay, please feel free to lower the chin and come back to that same place. If you want to, go ahead and start to lift those hands. If you want to go ahead and lift your feet, lifting the chest, look up in the air. Slowly bring the arms forward. And down. Let's slide the hands underneath your chest so the fingertips are at the middle of your chest. We're going to push into the palms, round out the spine, into cat pose once again. And release and look up. Breathe. Exhale and round the spine. So we're going to go into pigeon now. Just a modified pigeon. We're going to slide our right leg forward. Bring that left hand to the floor. Slide the left leg back to start to stretch your psoas. Look forward. If you're able to, start to walk those hands out. Gently stretching that right hip, so your outer thighs. Come back up, walk those hands in. Now we're going to keep our left hand down again. Try to extend your right arm out. Then reach it up. Now bring that arm down. Bend your left leg. Take your left arm back and reach for the inside of your left foot, looking over that left shoulder. Open the chest there. And if you feel you can, reach on the outside of your foot, reach back with your right hand, and lift up. Lower the chest. Stretch those arms out if you can. Just try to relax the body, sink into that right hip. Now we're going to come back up. Bring your knees together. Round the spine in cat. And take your left leg forward. First, we're going to perch on our right hand. Take your left arm out and slowly sink down into those hips. Stretch down. And bring your right hand down and bring that left arm up in the air. Look up. Bring your left arm down. Turn to the right. Bend your right knee. Reach back. Fall into that right hip. And if you can, reach around the outside of your right leg. Grab it with both hands, lifting the chest up. And once again, come forward. This time, if you can, come all the way down, stretching that hip. And walk those hands back up and return to cat. Round the spine. And now cross your ankles. And we're going to have a seat back on the mat. And we're going to take our right heel just underneath that hip. We're going to keep a 90-degree angle between our heel and our hip. We're going to bring those hands together and we're going to take a dive through the left leg and out to the right side of the mat. Lower the head down. Now, if you feel you're able to, we're going to turn the left hand so it's facing up in the air. Bend your left elbow and reach back with your right arm. Lock those hands. And if you can, sliding that left leg up. If you can, into a seated bird of paradise, looking over that right shoulder. Now we're going to take a hold of that left big toe with your right hand. Wedge your left hand against that left leg. Lifting the right elbow and into compass pose. Look underneath the right shoulder. And then into half lotus pose. Bringing that left heel all the way over to your right knee or to your right hip. Find the place that works for you. And if you can, add the twist. Take your left arm back and grab a hold of that left big toe. Look over your left shoulder. Release those arms, send those hands back, lift the chest in the air. And uncross the legs. Take your left heel underneath the right hip, slide your right leg forward. So you have 90 degrees from your heel, knee, and hip. Bring your hands in prayer and sweep down. Bringing that head to the ground, turning your right hand up, reaching back over the right hip, grabbing that right hand with your left. Start to lift that right leg up and into bird of paradise. Look over your left shoulder, hold there and breathe. And when you're able to, we're going to reach over and grab that right big toe. Wedge your right hand under the hip and look up in the air in compass pose. And into half lotus. Legs down on the knee or your hip. And if you can, twist around. Look over your shoulder. Just relax the shoulders, stretching the neck, stretching those hips. So at this time, we're going to find ourselves back into staff. And I want to thank you all for watching Yoga with Cynthia today. Until next time, namaste. We're going to end today in corpse pose. So get comfortable and enjoy corpse pose as long as you'd like to.